All right, let's talk about a huge, and I mean huge, problem for pretty much every Node.js developer out there. How do you handle massive amounts of data without, completely blowing up your server? If you've ever had that heart in your throat moment watching your app's memory just skyrocket during a big file upload and then just die, well, you are definitely in the right place.
Oh yeah, I'm willing to bet almost everyone listening has been there. You know that feeling, right? Some user uploads a massive, 5 GB video file, and just boom. Everything grinds to a halt. Your server's RAM just explodes, and you're left staring at that dreaded out-of-memory error. It's a total nightmare. But what if I told you that this whole catastrophe, it often boils down to just one single, dangerous line of code?
And here it is. This is the villain of our story. This little line of code, you've probably seen it in a million tutorials, is basically a ticking time bomb. I mean, it looks so innocent, doesn't it? All you're doing is taking these little chunks of data as they come in and adding them to a variable. Simple. But what you're really doing is building a monster that's going to eat all your server's memory for breakfast.
So this is what we call the data flood problem. Think about it. You're basically trying to pour an entire ocean of data into your server's memory, which, let's be honest, is more like a tiny little bucket. It's just not built for that. And what happens when you pour an ocean into a bucket? Right. It overflows, makes a huge mess, and in our case, it crashes the entire application.
And let's just put a number on this so it really sinks in. That 15 GB video file, when you buffer it with that little line of code, it's going to try and gobble up 5,000 megabytes of your server's RAM, all at once, for just a single user request. It's just completely unsustainable. But don't worry, because there is a much, much better way to handle this. Okay, so how do we fix this whole mess? Well, we need to stop trying to contain this data ocean. Instead, we're going to build a data river. Let's dive into the solution, which, as you can see, is all about Node.js Streams.
So say hello to Node.js Streams. The idea is actually really simple. Instead of waiting for every single last byte of that giant file to show up before you even start doing anything with it, Streams let you work on it piece by piece as it's flowing in, just like a river. There's no waiting around, no flooding your memory. It's just a smooth, continuous, and most importantly, an incredibly memory-efficient way to work with data.
So when we talk about streams, you can really think of it like a plumbing system inside Node. There are basically 4 main types you'll run into. You've got your readable streams, that's the source, kind of like a water faucet. Then you have writable streams, that's the destination, like a drain pipe. Duplex streams let you do both, read and write, so think of a walkie-talkie. And finally, transform streams, which are super cool. They actually modify the data as it's passing through, just like a water filter. Okay, so knowing those stream types is cool and all, but the real magic, the real power, comes from how you connect them. This is where we get to that simple, elegant solution that's going to change everything for you. It's all about piping.
And wow, this side-by-side really just says it all, doesn't it? Okay, look at the left. That's the wrong way, the old way. We're listening for data, we're building up this gigantic string variable in memory, and only when it's all there do we finally write it to a file. Total memory hog. Now look at the right. This is the stream way. We just create a writable stream that points to our file, and then we use that one magic line.
Request.pipe to write stream. Seriously, that's it. That is the magic line. That one simple command tells Node.js, hey, see all that data coming in from the request? Just pipe it. Send it directly over to this file. The data just flows, right from the network, straight to the desk, barely even saying hello to your main memory on the way. It's incredible.
And the results? They are absolutely staggering. Just look at this chart. Remember our 5 GB file? The buffering method eats up 5,000 megabytes of RAM. But streaming it, you're using maybe 64 kilobytes for a tiny internal buffer. I mean, that's not just better, that's a whole different universe of efficiency. It's night and day.
And look, this is not just about file uploads, not at all. This whole idea of piping streams together, it unlocks these unbelievably powerful data processing pipelines that you can use for all sorts of real-world stuff. Let's check out a couple of examples. So imagine you have a giant CSV file, right? Way too big to load into memory. You can just pipe it through a stream that cleans up the data, then pipe that into another stream that filters for what you need, and then pipe that straight into your database, all without ever holding the whole file in memory. Or think about video. You could create a pipeline that takes a video stream, compresses it, adds a watermark, and transcodes it to different formats all on the fly. Or you could be handling real-time analytics from some live data feed. Seriously, once you get this, the possibilities are just endless. And here's the thing that's so important to get.
Streams are not some weird, advanced, niche feature of Node.js. No way. They are the absolute backbone of the entire ecosystem. They are the secret sauce. It's how Node is able to be so efficient and handle so much at once. And the crazy part is, you're probably already using them all the time without even realizing it.
Yep, that's right. You use Express? Well, guess what? The request and response objects you use every day, those are streams. Reading or writing a file with the FS module, you're using streams. Making an HTTP request, streams. Using zlib for compression or crypto for encryption, it's streams, and more streams. The entire Node.js world is built on top of this beautiful, efficient, flowing model of handling data. All right, so hopefully by now you're thinking, okay, streams are awesome, I get it. But the big question is, when should you actually use them? And when is the old way of buffering everything actually okay? Let's lay out a really simple strategy for this. This table pretty much breaks it down for you. Here's the deal. If your data is small, like say less than a megabyte, and you actually need the whole thing at once to do something simple, then yeah, using a buffer is totally fine. It's often just easier, especially when you're just trying to get something working quickly. But, and this is a big but, the second your data gets large, or you're dealing with anything over a network, or you're working with real-time data where memory really matters, then it's got to be streams. No question. So here's the bottom line, the simple rule to remember. If you're building a standard JSON API that's just passing around small little payloads, don't overthink it. Buffering that data is perfectly okay. But if your application is going to touch files, videos, big log files, or really any kind of significant data set, you should always, and I mean always, reach for streams first. It should be your default.
And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. The next time you sit down to write some code, just ask yourself this. Am I building a data dam, just holding everything back, letting the pressure build until it threatens to burst? Or am I engineering a data river, carefully guiding the flow, efficiently and safely all the way to its destination? Because if you can master that mindset, you've pretty much mastered how to handle data at any scale in Node.js.